Alright, so we're going to be creating a spreadsheet that's going to help us manage our balance in the classroom economy. And spreadsheets, a lot of people that you work with numbers use spreadsheets. Excel used to be probably the most popular and still is one of the most popular spreadsheet tools, but Google has its own called Google Sheets. But let's first go to our pre-algebra folder. If you have a classroom economy folder, you can put in there. Go to New, and then you're going to go to Google Sheets. We can call this bank log. Let's see. Bank log, and then we can just put our first name and our last initial. Click OK. First initial and last name, sorry. And then the way I'm going to reference each one of these little squares is a cell. And so when I'm going to reference a cell and what I want you to write in it, I'll say the column name and then the row name. So A1 would be here. The cell that I'm clicking on right now is C5. So in A1, I want you to write date. You can do these in all caps. Tap the tab button to go to B, or you can use the arrows. B, you'll write transaction, tab. C, you'll write deposit, tab. D, you'll write withdrawal, tab, and E, you'll write balance. Okay. And under date, let's leave some space, a little bit of space here. I'm going to go to the 10th row. And here I'm going to write 1-6 for my date. And the cool thing is when Google made Google Sheets, they put it when anybody would put 1-6, they're assuming you're probably wanting to put a date. So if you push enter, it puts the rest of the date and it puts the year for you. But let's say you don't really like the way it looks, you want it to write January 6th. Well, you can actually change the format up here. If you go to format, you click on the cell and then click on number. Say, what kind of number is this? Well, this is a date, a time. I can do more formats. And I can say more date and time currencies. Maybe I don't like any of the ones that they have here. I can go right here, and then they're saying, well, how do you want to write it? Well, I like writing it like this, August 5th. And then I'll just say apply. And then it does it like that. So however you want to do it, I'm going to keep it like this, but it's up to you. So in your transaction, let's go ahead and write payday. Well, let's just write starting balance, because this is what you're starting with right now. And what you're going to write, you're going to look at seeing how much money you have on your bank log right now. You'll just see what the balance is right at the end after all that stuff that you did at the end of last semester. So let's say your starting balance is $1,245. A few things. Since this is money, I can actually make this as a currency to show up as money. I'm going to format it as currency by hitting this $sign, and then put this little $sign and so some change. In our classroom economy, we don't use any change though, so I don't really need these two decimal places after. So there's these two buttons right here. It says decrease decimal places and increase decimal places. I'm going to decrease it by 2 right there, and then it's just going to be 1,245. And I'll show you how you can actually format all your numbers like that without doing it every time. So I didn't put anything in deposit withdrawal because I was just showing what the balance was to begin with. And we skipped all this space because we're actually going to go back and fill in some of our earlier bank log. Before I keep going though, since these are headings, I would like these to look a little bit different than everything I'm going to write. So I'm going to hit Command B to make it bold, and Command U to underline it, and Command I to italicize it. And I could do that to every single one individually, or I can just click on this row right here, and it highlights the entire row. And then if I do Command B, well, wait, it's undoing what I did. If I do Command B, it makes all this row bold. Command U, everything I write in this row bold. Command I. And the cool thing is, even though I didn't have anything written in F, if I wanted to write something new, it has that formatting on there as well. So that can save you a little bit of time. I can also change the width of these with my transactions. Since I'm probably going to be writing paycheck, auction money, bonus money, I need a little bit more space in column B. If you notice this, when you put your arrow or your cursor right there on the end of B, you can drag it a little bit wider and then let go, and it gets a little bit wider. And so that's pretty helpful. Deposit, withdrawal, and balance, I can keep those the same. I'm going to put that a little bit wider right there. So here's what I can do now. With my starting balance, I'm going to go down and I'm going to say, let's say today is also payday. Because today is payday. It was supposed to be paid before break, but if you didn't, now's payday. Payday. I'm going to do it just like I would a deposit. Let's say I make $750. And I want this to be in currency, but I want all of anything that I write in deposit or withdrawal or balance, I want to put in currency. So I'm going to highlight these three columns, and I'm going to write the currency button. And I'm going to decrease my decimals by 2. Now notice it didn't turn my words into money because it knows that this isn't money. So it just puts anything that I now write, $78, it puts it in currency, which is kind of nice. So here's where here's where spreadsheets get really, really, really useful. I want to add 750 to my balance, and I can do that in my head, or I can have the spreadsheet do it for me. If I want the spreadsheet to do an equation for me, I'm going to write an equal sign. This tells me, okay, listen up, this is what I want you to do, Google Sheets. I want you to take E10, the number that's in E10. I'm going to click on E10. And since this is a deposit, I want you to add, I'm going to have to hit shift and then the equal button to do the add. I want you to add C11. E10 plus C11. And then I'm going to push enter. And then it gives me my new balance right there. So that's pretty cool. Let's say if I ended up having to pay a fine, let's say 1,815 fine, and my fine was $75. It's not a deposit, it's a withdrawal. So now I'm going to take in my balance, I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to take the balance that's right above it, click right there, subtract D12, click right there. And I'm going to click enter. Don't forget, you need to put the equal sign there. Put enter, and then it takes away the $75. Okay, so here's how we're basically going to be doing all of our banking, our bank logs from now on. And one thing that you can do, I went ahead and filled this in with maybe some things that could end up happening in January. So I could just go and say equals this, and since it's a withdrawal, I'm going to subtract that and hit enter, and then equals E14, since it's deposit, I'm going to hit C14 or E13 plus C14, hit enter. I could do that every time, but that kind of it can get tedious, and especially with people who work with a lot of numbers. So something that spreadsheets do really well. Well, first, I'm going to create a new equation. Instead of just adding and subtracting one at a time, I'm going to say equals E10. I'm just saying the cell right above it. I want you to add whatever is in C11 and then subtract whatever is in D11. Now, there's nothing in D11, so it's going to end up subtracting 0, which is not going to change it at all. But with this equation right here, I'm saying the cell above, I want you to take what's there and then add whatever's in the deposit column and subtract whatever's in the withdrawal column. And then I want you to give me my new balance. And so if I have nothing in the deposit, it'll add 0. And then it'll just take out what's in the withdrawal. But if I have nothing in the withdrawal, it'll take away 0 and add what's in the deposit. I'm going to hit enter, and it gives me my balance. Now, here's where it's cool. This is what I love. If you put your mouse on the bottom right, I'm going to drag this down, and this is basically copying the formula. It's not copying the number. Notice it didn't just copy this number 1,995 and then just bring it down. It took the formula, but it changed it a little bit. Instead of looking back at E10, down at this formula, notice what it says up here in the formula bar. It says it looked at E11, it added C12, which didn't have anything, and then subtracted D12. So it took away the withdrawal. Let's look at the next one, what it did. It changed the numbers for me. It said, okay, I'm going to look at the cell right above me, E12, and I'm going to add the cell that's 2 to the left, which is C13 in the deposit, and take away the cell that's 1 to the left, which is D13, which is the withdrawal. This one, I didn't deposit anything, so it added 0, but took away 350. This one right here, E13, looks right above it. It adds what's in the deposit, which is 650, and takes away what's in the withdrawal, which is 0. And so you're seeing that it's taking care of each one of these steps for me. Now, I could go like this on my bank log, and then as I actually fill stuff in, maybe I end up getting a fine on the 4th. If I hit a fine, and then I have to withdraw $125, it does that for me right there. I could drag it all the way down, or I can just do it one at a time. 2, 3, fine, 125, and then just click and drag. It's kind of up to me. There are ways where you can drag it down here, and then if there's nothing in either one of these cells, it doesn't show anything. But that gets a little bit complicated. If you want to learn how to do that, just come see me during office hours and we can figure it out. But what I want you to do is go back and put all the beginning of your bank log in here. So 8 should be 9/1, September 1st. It was either your signing bonus, I believe. Signing bonus, deposit of $200. Your balance, I'm going to put that equation up here again, equals, well, this one I didn't have anything above it, but so I'm just going to say equals $200. But the next one, I'll say equals my balance up here plus the deposit minus the withdrawal, and hit enter, and then I can drag it down like this, or however I want to do it. But go through. If you don't have enough space, if you click on 10 and then right click on 10, it says insert one above. That's going to insert one more row. If you need to do that a few times, insert one above. If you need to do that like 10 times, hold the command button, and then you're going to hit Y, because it's going to redo whatever you just did. So since you just inserted a column, Command Y is going to insert a column. Command Y doesn't always insert a column, it just repeats what you just did. So you want to go through, make this look exactly like your bank log with this month's payday. Okay, and then we'll figure out how we'll do rent, and I'll tell you guys how to do that.